We should be probably live in a minute.
All right, all right. I'm looking in the studio. Yep, we
Yep,
are live.
yep.
I'll post in the. Uh,
Yep.
yeah.
Good thing about VPN, right? I changed the network and you didn't even notice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but Meet
Arun,
did notice. Meet did notice, it seems.
yep. Need absolutely notice it.
I'm back in. Should we restart the
All
stream?
right.
Like, you know,
I heard the. No. It is fine. It's fine. I have heard the audio samples and also saw that both of our cameras are now live. It
yep,
went
yep,
away and then now it's live. So yeah,
yep.
both of those things are fine. I'll just post in the text forums now.
Perfect.
Okay, strict. Now let's wait for like 1 2 minutes and then we'll just start. By the way, like it's how is the rain over there?
Currently, it is not raining, but it was raining previously.
Okay,
There was a,
okay.
what do you call, like a tornado or some sort, right? I mean, it's like not here,
I see. I
in
see.
some other place, but the side effect
Yep.
that is rain, right?
Interesting.
I mean, the monsoon is also here. So.
Yeah, here it is like still, you know, it will take around 2 weeks more. Seems like.
Right.
But yeah, the temperature is like a little bit low compared to what it was 1 week back.
Got it. By the way, I am seeing yellow on OBS Studio,
Let
but
me
is
check
the
the stream. The stream is fine. And
stream is
like
fine, right?
we have, we already have one viewer. So I mean,
Perfect.
whoever is that good viewer, please let us know if there is any issues in the voice or, I mean, faces, right? Please let us know.
Correct. Correct.
Amazing. Yeah, Rushik is saying we can hear. We already have two viewers, so I think we are good to go, right?
Perfect. Yeah, let's start.
All right. Thank you, Deepak. Thanks a lot. So yeah, guys, welcome to the Open Talks episode number 31. And this is like this is a really interesting episode. I'm like, this time we are going to talk about. I mean, you whatever you have seen in the movies, right? You'll be noticing that those same things actually can happen in real life also.
Same vibes.
And yeah, same vibe absolutely. So this will be like really interesting. I mean, even if you're not techie person, you will like you will get interested in this episode. So
Now you
please
will question technology, right?
stay connected. Now you will absolutely question the security and technology. Absolutely correct. So yeah, like think we are good to roll the intro, right?
Absolutely. So let's roll the open
Yep.
talk. And we are back.
All right. So I mean, we all know that Windows is not secure. Absolutely not secure, right? But recently, if you see that, then Windows is like little bit, you know, good in terms of updates. I mean, it is forcing the updates, and it is getting little bit more secure than Windows XP and 7. That's what we can say. But it is, I mean, unexpected, right? I mean, who would have even thought that Microsoft Office, right? A genuine, I mean, saint software, right? Who has nothing to do with your, privacy and all. I mean, just guessing, but yeah, it must have. But yeah,
Unless you are
that saint
a,
software.
unless you're some kind of corporate, right?
Yep.
You're covered
Unless you
most probably.
have that, corporate policies signed with Microsoft that yeah, if Microsoft will collect a single byte of data, we will like fine you with billions of dollars. So yeah, and unless that, you are obviously you are selling your data. But yeah, so Microsoft Office, right? So let's imagine a scenario. You are having a pen drive. You just connected that pen drive. Sometimes I have seen 90% of the cases, pen drive opens up automatically. Whenever
Yep.
you connect the pen drive, it opens up
The
automatically.
file
The
manager
content
opens
of the
up.
pen drive is Explorer is like overly excited to show you what is in the pen drive, right?
Absolutely.
And and the next thing you know is all of your passwords are uploaded to some server. You see a blue screen of death, and all of your files are, I mean, encrypted or be basically gone. How, I mean, you must have like imagined that this is the extremist thing which can happen to you, right?
Correct.
I mean, you would believe that this won't happen at all, but yeah, this is possible. Today in this
Absolutely.
date, it is absolutely possible. So
This is some
let me
NFL level
explain.
shit over here, right? Writing some weird code inside, MS Word and sending the document and saying,
Yep.
okay, we have embedded trace inside the Word file. So when the person opens it, what automatically traces to the computer, right?
Yep. So weird, right? So absolutely weird.
Actually, did
I
you know
mean,
that in my Mozilla Firefox there was a critical vulnerability, right?
oh, okay. I mean, I saw the title, but I didn't check the blog actually. What was
In
that?
OneNote, 100.01, 0.1,
Yeah.
100.0.1, there was a, all the others, right, from that version, all the previous versions,
Hmm.
all of them had
Right.
one big problem. There is a quantum
Oh,
engine, right, which they are currently having, right, the new engine,
correct.
which
Yes.
replaces Gecko engine, is having a
Yep.
vulnerability that will allow
Okay.
any JavaScript code to, escalate from the sandbox. So we are talking from sandbox user escalating to a normal user,
Oh my.
right? So this is
Oh my.
a, not just a privilege escalation. This is a sandbox jailbreak,
Absolutely right. Yeah, that is 100%
and this is
risky.
something of another realm because now uh, Microsoft Word or PowerPoint or whatever the Office suite, right? Which is like pretty much not even running any code other than just the macros, right? We have inside them.
Correct. Correct.
Like JavaScript is something which
I
is
mean,
pretty complex, right? To tackle,
yep.
We can say, okay, see, like,
Exactly.
JavaScript is very hard to sanitize, very hard to check, right? Keep it checked.
Right.
But
Right.
now Microsoft can't even do a small thing. I mean, they can't just keep a macro based code safe. It's like saying that HTML is not safe. HTML has some vulnerability
Absolutely
through
right.
which person can escalate the privilege, right? That is how this feels like.
Yep. Oh man. I mean, just imagine it, right? So you brought out a really good point that that software is really easy to handle, right? It is such an easy
Yep,
software to handle that no one can make a mistake, and then also they made a mistake. So yeah, that's absolutely a very genuine point. Now, second point, if we look at it, Firefox, like very niche people have that browser, right? Very
correct.
small amount of people have the browser, but
Yep.
Microsoft Office, right? More than 90% of the people, I mean, I would say 99% of the people
Actually, do you know what is the
must have
difference
it.
between these two, right? Like situations.
Okay, okay.
Microsoft patched it the day it came out.
Oh,
I mean, not Microsoft, sorry, Mozilla, right? Patched it the
yeah,
day it came out.
Firefox, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Microsoft
that makes
is
sense.
still working on the vulnerability right
I
now.
mean, uh,
They haven't found a patch
I'll
to it.
tell you, I'll tell you the exact words of Microsoft, right? They literally told this. Just bear with it for a moment. We are working on it. This is what they told the enterprises. And I mean, like the company which I'm working for, right? I got a mail
Yep.
like 1 week back that this is a vulnerability which is out there. Just make sure that you don't open any folder which you don't know about what is inside. So yeah.
Actually, in
Uh,
AMD, the response was different, I think, where they
okay.
just outright, the admins just disabled the whole scripting platform of Microsoft, right? They just flipped a
Interesting.
switch and now no more macros, nothing. Like
Ah. Okay.
just a plain
Okay.
office.
Oh. Oh, that is really good. I mean, that's a step everyone should take, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, yeah. The other one is harder because you can't say to the employees, okay, don't open it. The employees
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, and then also they what they did is like they gave out an update which disabled the MSDT to totally.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
that
Go
also does the job.
they
I
even
mean,
went the step further and disabled the whole macro.
yeah, the whole
I don't know
MSDT
if it's
thing
for
is like
everyone. I mean,
yeah,
they told why do you even need the access to that, right? I mean, like
correct.
pretty much I am a developer, right? I don't really need access to all those things. Those are statisticians
Yeah,
tools, right?
absolutely right. Yeah. So, I mean, let's give some context to the viewers, right? So,
Right.
this is what is happening in the background whenever you open that folder, right? So, what happens is, uh, first of all, this vulnerability zero. This is a zero-click vulnerability only if you have an RTF file in the folder, which is rich text format, right? And if it's a docx file, then you have to open it, then it will execute. But yeah, this is the difference. But now let's see what happens when you open a docx file. So you don't even have to click on that, enable feature, something like that. Right? That small
That is
yellow ribbon whenever you open a document.
like trust the document, right? Trust the document. You are
Yes.
now on viewing mode. If you want to
Yeah.
go to edit mode, you have to trust the document, right? That is what you're talking about.
Correct. And that is the macros. But here we are not dealing it with macros at all. What we are dealing with here is MSDT protocol. So what happens is whenever you try to pull out a theme or let's say any kind of template which requires you to go into that section of that thing, you are connecting with the Microsoft server, right? And you are connected to the MSDT protocol of the Microsoft. Now what happens is this vulnerability is in that particular what we say uh, protocol. So it requires exact amount of bytes to be given to the client so that your whatever your client system is, it gets overloaded, and after that it doesn't require the authentication needs. So
There's a plain
basically
buffer overflow attack, basically
yes,
speaking.
correct, absolutely correct. So this is exactly what happens, and then after gaining the access, they can whatever code is written below, it gets executed. So I mean,
with
you
higher
know, it
privileges.
could
That is what the problem.
with yes with elevated privileges. So this is exactly what happens. Like you can delete any part of the C drive. You can modify any registry. You can install any software. Whatever you want to do, you can do. Literally, I mean, if you're connected to MSDT, you already have internet, right? So you can download any exe file and just run that. So yeah, I mean,
So
and
what you are
possibilities
basically
are
saying
endless.
is, the attacker has basically pawned the PC, right? Literally.
Absolutely. Attacker has basically taken your place. Now, whatever you can do, attacker can also. I mean, sometimes this is what happens, right? Windows doesn't let you do some things, but through these vulnerabilities, the hackers can even do more whatever you could do. So yeah. So this is really serious. Like so what we suggest is, I mean, you can just Google this out. Disable MSDT protocol in your Office suite total. Till the time it is there is a solution. Like this vulnerability, Microsoft knew from April. April, right now it is June, so it's like more than 2 months, I would say. So
Absolutely.
if it is not fixed in 2 months, I won't say like it will be fixed in like next 2-3 months also. So let's just disable the MSDT if you're not using it at all. And if you're using it, just make sure that you open only those folders which you know what is inside of. So yeah, I mean, interesting things, right? Things going on.
Yeah, so I mean, like Microsoft, like even just using their products, right? Like you have to jail that system to a point where you have to be cautious, right? I mean, it's like
Absolutely right.
you have to even create a network for that device, just so that if it
Correct.
gets hacked, it is contained in the network, right? Like,
Yep.
and keep Microsoft devices away from each other also, because one thing gets hacked, the other thing gets hacked. Like
It
pretty much like
spreads
a
like a virus. Absolutely correct.
absolutely.
And just
Yeah.
just give it a thought. Like if it was an open
By the
source
way, what was
product,
the name of this particular vulnerability? I forgot, right?
it started from F, right? Let me just check. Uh, Microsoft Office. Yeah, it is really soft. Uh, Folina.
Polina, Polina,
Follina.
right? Polina,
Yep,
yeah,
yep, yep.
yeah. I mean,
That's the
who
name.
names the vulnerability Polina? Like
Yep.
we have Spectre, Meltdown, right? I mean, like then we have Eternal Blue, Polina.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, just hearing the name, it's really sweet name, right? You won't even know, and
Pretty
you will
pretty
be
sure
like
that whoever named it is Microsoft.
100%. Absolutely 100%.
Right.
Interesting. Interesting.
The only problem here is that see, like with all the brain power Microsoft has, still
Yeah.
still they can't fix the damn thing, right?
Absolutely. I mean, see, I would say like Microsoft has, let's say, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 brains, right? But the open source community has you know lakhs
Millions.
and crores of brains, millions of brains. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, just think about it. If it was an open source product, first of all, this situation might not even arrived. Let's say if it is arrived, then it would have been fixed by maximum 2-3 days or
You
one
know,
week, right?
that one guy who just shows up in that particular point. You know what? This
Oh,
can be fixed with this particular line of code. Boom.
yeah, yeah,
Right. With the appropriate just enough line of codes to just fix the whole thing, right?
absolutely
It's
right,
like in the
absolutely right.
movies, right? When you see like one person just come up with. I mean, there are movies
Correct.
where the one person does everything. I'm not talking that kind of situation. Like
Yeah,
the person is in a jeopardy and this one person shows up with the exact amount of information to just fix it. And that happens in open source every time, right? Compared to
Every
closed
day.
source.
Yep. I mean, it's something like this, right? The person who might have even discovered the vulnerability, he is the most appropriate person to fix it also, like, right? Because
Absolutely.
he knows, like, he, it is something like, China
See,
developed the
he
virus and now they
blindly
are
found
able
the
to make a
vulnerability.
vaccine.
He
Exactly.
blindly found the vulnerability. Microsoft had access
Yeah.
to the code, the source code, for a lot of time. They did a lot of security auditing, all these things. Right? Never found the bug.
Yep.
It's like
Hundred
the
percent
in
never.
the old days, there was a bug introduced by an intern in
Yeah.
Microsoft, right? And that bug got
Okay.
rolled out, literally rolled
Oh
out,
man.
and that is a privilege escalation on CD command
Shit.
on those days,
Shit.
those days.
That is next level.
And see,
I see.
like these things will happen. I mean, these things are going to happen
Yep.
again and again. Only way to have a fix faster and easier is to be open source, right?
Correct.
And
Correct.
yes, open source is going to make the code easier to attack. I do think it
Yep.
is because there you have the code, the methodology of how it is done. It's easier to find a
Right.
way to break it. But the thing is,
Absolutely
the
right.
serious problems will be found much more easily, and also if they are not found easily, like once they are found, they will be
Right.
mitigated very fast. Like the mitigation
Correct.
time is very less, and I think Microsoft
Yep.
might have to make some calls to some security agencies to fix it now. I think so.
100%. 100%.
Or like see, Microsoft rolls up a patch. What happens?
Yep.
Nothing. It's like I am saying, nothing happens. Like all the corporates will fix it. All the users who are using Microsoft Office 2007, 2016, 13, 19, 2020, who will write a patch for that and who will install the patch?
Exactly.
Now, like you have the power to write a doc file, okay,
Yeah.
and go to any DTP center and hack their machine. They won't even suspect
Absolutely
it.
right. Yeah, that's the beauty, right? That's the beauty. You just give them the pen drive, or maybe you just mail the
No,
file.
just
Just don't
email it.
even give them the pen drive.
Yeah,
Yeah, just email it. That is so weird. I mean,
yep.
and the thing is that these government offices, right? They literally run
Absolutely.
Windows 7. So I don't expect them to run the latest best version of our Office after
What
four
are we
five days,
talking? Like,
4 5 months,
military
right?
runs Windows XP
Oh
like a
man.
pro, right?
Oh man. If that's a reality, then our
That's the
security
reality,
is at
right?
the stake.
See, they are afraid to change the machine. Why? Because
Yep.
they are afraid that the things are going to break. Like the navigation system, which was
Right.
written for submarines, like in maybe 2000. They are running
Correct.
the same OS like now also because they are afraid that
And
an OS upgrade might literally break the whole bunker, the whole thing.
it, I mean, it can, right? Because the way Windows it has updated over the years, it can absolutely happen. The thing is
And the
that
funniest thing is that it even deletes itself. Sometimes.
shit. Oh man, absolutely right. I mean, see, the problems are arising because the technology that we are having, right, in the military, we have not developed that. We have imported. So the vendors
Correct.
are like literally gone now. You might even those vendors might not even exist right now.
Correct.
So who
Correct.
is going to give you the update for Windows 10? So
Actually,
that could be
you know
the
what, the right to repair, right? The main movement actually started from military only, because
oh
they
man.
couldn't get the fix for anything. As a problem,
I see.
they contact the vendor. Vendor is no more. What to do? Right?
Wow.
They have two options: either decommission the whole thing, or you know patch it up by some person, right, who just reverse engineers the whole thing and
Yep.
patch it up. And that is
Correct.
very hard to
Correct.
do because military devices are
Hmm.
designed not to be tampered with.
Right. Right.
And that is a critical problem. You can't open a military device and just expect everything to be fine because there are going to be boogie traps. Like, the moment you open it, it might even delete itself or, totally destroy itself.
100%.
Like, those things are designed
Absolutely
that
agree.
way so that if the thing, gets into enemy hands, they won't get
Yeah.
the access to the critical data, right? And that
Got
is
it.
a mandatory
Got it.
thing to be done because the classified information
Hmm.
leaking to enemies, like the strategy or whatever, right, is very bad.
Yeah.
In case of in a for example, if there is a terrorist attack, they have to find terrorists, they have to attack the terrorists, right? What if the plans already leaks to terrorists? Then it's game over, right? That has to be classified
Yeah.
until the attack is over,
Then it
right?
is game over. Absolutely correct.
So yeah, but the funniest thing is there are still machines
Hmm.
in military that are
Right.
connected to the military
Right.
network, which is really secure,
Okay. Okay.
which are running
Okay.
Windows XP. So the only thing we need
Interesting.
to get access to is to a military node, and at that point we can infect all the Windows XP machine with known
Yep.
vulnerabilities.
Okay.
We are not talking even unknown vulnerabilities, known vulnerabilities.
Exactly. It's like literally they're in the air, right? Everybody knows.
Actually, this is the reason why people are now pushing more and more to Linux because Linux systems don't
Hmm.
break that easily. Right? Even if there is a vulnerability,
100%.
an update of kernel is guaranteed not to break the whole thing.
Correct.
That is the
Absolutely correct.
reality of thing. Right? The only problem
Yes.
I have with Linux now and then is sometimes they do depreciate the driver and make it a external module. I don't know if
I
you have
see.
seen it,
I
but
see.
sometimes the driver literally, gets removed from the kernel.
Hmm.
And one day you will be like installing the thing
I
and your Ethernet doesn't work or your camera
100%.
doesn't work.
Like I think you might not remember, but one of my friend, right, who wanted to install, I think Linux only. I don't know which flavor. Uh,
Right.
he came to my house and just I just installed Ubuntu for them, right? Because no, not Ubuntu. I installed Manjaro, I think. Yeah. So I called you that day because Wi-Fi was not working, touchpad was not working, anything was not working, right? Just the keyboard was working. So I mean, you told me to compile the kernel for it, and then it worked. But yeah, the thing is that this was like 4 years back. So yeah, so that laptop was really old. So you are correct. Like the what we say, old components, the old drivers, right? They are being removed from the newest version of the kernel. So that's a bad idea, I would say. But I mean,
What to
this is
do,
what they
right? I
prefer,
mean,
right?
there is a something they have to do, right? In the sense the kernel shouldn't become like, a big chunky thing. That is the only
Correct,
problem.
correct, correct.
Actually,
Yeah,
their
this
intention
is
is
the
good because still the driver is separated and it is separately compilable into KO module
yes. You
and
can,
you can load it
yeah,
anytime.
yeah,
And this works
yeah.
anytime thanks to Linus servers, keeping
I
the
see.
user space like you
Hmm.
know what Linus servers calls is a virginity of user space, right? You don't want anything to happen with the user space.
Interesting,
Do
interesting
anything in
indeed.
the kernel space. By the way, who doesn't know what is user space and kernel space? It's like kernel has APIs, right, to interface with it, and these APIs are called user space, basically. Our programs basically uses APIs in the user space that is, not privileged as much as kernel, and basically tells kernel to do this and that. That is what these
Exactly.
APIs are. And these APIs, if it changes, it changes the whole thing because that binary you compiled is no longer valid.
Yep,
It can't run it
yep,
anymore,
yeah.
and that is
I
a
mean,
problem.
absolutely right. I mean, if you will say that I want to turn on the Wi-Fi, right? You will say some XYZ command, but the API has changed and it is expecting some ABC command. So now
Correct.
the functionality is obviously there in the kernel, but because the API has changed, you cannot do anything.
Yes, yes.
So
That is why
that's
Linus
the
always
absolute reason.
says keep the API same, do all the changes behind the scenes. He's
Absolutely. I
even
mean,
okay
the,
to
the
adding more commands, but not removing the
correct.
legacy. Legacy one should always
Absolutely.
run.
Otherwise, lots of things will break, right? Already the things are breaking. So why add more things? And this will be like serious breakdown.
Exactly like
Uh,
Microsoft, right? Where you can see one program which runs, it calls for a taskbar and it runs with some legacy taskbar, right?
right.
Have you ever seen it like you run a program and it runs with Windows 7 taskbar?
For
It,
what Windows?
Windows 7 taskbar, right? It calls Windows 7
Oh yeah,
taskbar
I have
in
I have
Windows
I have
10
seen those. Yes, even like Windows. What we say,
XP.
XP, not XP, but even before those, right? Those really grayish taskbar. Even I remember
Yep.
some programs running to them. I think that's a legacy component they kept still.
That is something which Linux don't want. Like literally,
That is
they will
exactly.
they will change what you call like the
Yes.
backend, right? See, the API will remain the same, show taskbar, but the taskbar will change, right?
Correct.
I mean, but the show
Correct.
taskbar
Correct.
of whatever arguments you give, the arguments will remain same.
That has to be seen.
So you might have more arguments, but if you call with same arguments,
Correct.
function overloading, same you will
Yep.
get. But the
Yeah.
UI will change, right? So that doesn't like if you write a program for very old OS, like something like if running KDE 1.0 or something, and you write a program and you run it there, then right, you will have a different UI totally. And now if you run it,
Correct.
you will have a new UI, and both will actually
Yes.
work perfectly, right? While
Hundred
Microsoft
percent.
basically sticks to the old one, just because they are afraid. They
Right.
pack everything into a single binary, not single binary,
Oh
single
man.
ISO, and the ISO becomes fat as yeah, I'm not going to use that word, right?
Correct. Correct.
Basically, you get a CD. Oh, no, not a CD, sorry, DVD. Like, we are back from
Yep.
CD
Yep.
days,
Yep.
right? Now DVDs, which can't fit
Correct.
inside a DVD.
Shit. Shit. Oh man. I mean,
You ever thought
those
about
those double layer
writing?
DVDs, right? Exactly.
Yep. There's no page. I mean, see, for now it works. How long?
For now, it works. I mean, in future, I would say Blu-rays and uh, those things will be required. Even like external hard drives for 1 and 2 TBs will be required. Who knows?
Like technician coming with a Blu-ray. Like, okay, so your computer has a Blu-ray drive, and you'll be like, okay, what is Blu-ray? Yeah, like,
Shit.
didn't you know, like, Microsoft ships now Windows and Blu-rays. They're around 100 GBs. It can't fit in a pen drive also, like, because most of the
Oh
people have
man.
around, like, 54 GBs lying around.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely right. By the way,
right.
one of the viewers, Rushik, right? He's saying that Ubuntu doesn't even work on many machines with default auto install GUI. So he's saying like they even have an option to auto detect and install NVIDIA drivers, right? Which never worked for him on on a single laptop. So,
Right.
uh, I mean,
So
yeah,
one thing about NVIDIA, we are going to that territory.
okay,
NVIDIA likes to purge their, you know, like graphics cards now and then. They are like, what?
correct, correct,
Snap. There goes drivers. And that happens a lot. Like, see, I have a 750 Ti in my desktop, and that thing is now in the brim of the line. I don't know when they will snap, and the 7 series, not even 7 series, maybe whatever below 10 series is gone from the mainline
yeah,
NVIDIA drivers, right? So
absolutely
in
correct.
that point, Ubuntu has to know that okay, this is a card which is no longer supported. This is depreciated, right? And they have to
Hmm,
find out
correct.
the last release which supported, and then install
Yes,
it. And by installing it, they have to compile the KO for it, the kernel object for it. And NVIDIA has a DKMS thing, dynamic kernel module system, right? And that has to
yes,
compile. And what happens is after
correct.
some time, right? The kernel adds more header files and all those things. They will add more changes to the thing. And now NVIDIA's driver is too complex that it won't compile anymore. It will hit some errors, right? I think even you have seen those NVIDIA
Yeah,
DKMS compile problems. And
absolutely correct.
now
I have seen a lot of those.
you have two options: either to run an old kernel with the old graphics, or to just kick out the graphics card, get a new one. Like, yeah, I mean, this is all NVIDIA's fault. It's like NVIDIA, if they had open source drivers, we could have made a selection. Like, okay, so what drivers do
Yep,
you want to build from the source
I
tree,
see.
right?
Hmm.
And literally, we could have updated even the oldest graphics card to support it. See,
Correct.
AMD's graphics card division is ATI, right? I mean, the ATI company, AMD bought it, and now they have a graphics card division. And from the ATI's first graphics card, the Redon graphics, which currently is shipped as open source code, supports every one of them from the start. The only thing is, by default, it doesn't support ATI GPUs. But you can say that you are having legacy, you want the legacy, then they will support the old one. Since the code is right.
Right.
They don't want to keep it beefy. That is why it's stripped up, right? And that is how
100%.
NVIDIA could have been. I mean, it's all about the
Absolutely. I mean,
market.
it's all about that. Correct.
Who wants old GPUs while we can do new stuff with
Yes.
new Teslas and NVIDIA Teslas and all those things. I mean, it's all about
Correct.
enterprises. Enterprises don't keep these GPUs for more than 5 years. They'll kick those
Yeah.
out and replace with new GPUs. And at that point,
Yep.
NVIDIA support will literally pivot towards the newest GPU, and that is
Right.
it.
Right. Right. 100%. This is exactly what happens. What you were told, right? That's the scenario.
Actually, you know what? The latest release of AMD, right?
Yeah.
Most probably I'm going to buy a machine once it releases because
Oh man.
the performance I see, right, like phenomenal. Everything from DDR5
Oh.
memory, right, to
Yep.
PCIe Gen 5, right? PCIe Gen
Okay.
5. Then in enterprises, lot of chips, processors can be incorporated in a single board. Right? I
Right.
think
Right.
earlier some leak, right, gigabyte leak or something, which confirmed 6 or something, right? And the clock speed is also good, I think, right? I mean, I don't know about that. It should be good, right?
It,
Because AMD is already claiming around 50% or something uplift from others,
okay.
and these kind of uplifts you don't get from normal.
Yeah. Usually 15% is a lot, right? Generally, we get 20%, maximum
Correct, correct.
30%.
And this is, I think, thanks to the new processing node or something, right? 4 nanometer or
Right.
something, right?
Right.
And it's like, I mean, the performance wise, like a beast. Intel's
Oh,
whatever Pico, Recore, bullshit, pretty dead now.
amazing.
It's roasted.
Absolutely amazing.
At this point, they are not even existing, right? I think the Ryzen
Wow.
7 series, I will buy it. Like the 7, I'm not talking like the Ryzen 7. I'm talking like 7th gen of desktop CPUs.
So, yes.
Uh, I
That
will
would be
aim for
amazing.
most
Like,
probably Ryzen 9,
oh,
as in the Ryzen 9.
yeah. The
Let
Ryzen 9
let's
series.
see how the
Correct.
prices will be, right? If the
Yeah.
prices are good
That
enough, I
that
will
that
probably buy it.
correct. 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 I think it will be like high enough, but let's see, right? Let's see. Let's wait for the reveal.
This chick died, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
You
a
told me correct. The RAM died.
DDR4 memory from Corsair, right? Corsair Vengeance.
Yeah. Yeah.
The specs is like 15 GB to 400 megahertz and four rows. I think four
Yep.
rows, right? Four rows. So yeah, this thing is pretty high end memory stick, right? I bought it for around 10,000. This point, I think it's worth only 4,000. But yeah, anyway, I have to get this replaced. Um,
Right. It has warranty of how many years ago?
um, According to them, lifetime.
Oh man. Oh man. Okay. Okay.
So that is why I am still
Interesting.
having this, right? I already got the address to ship to. I haven't shipped yet.
All
I'm
right.
just taking it
All right.
slowly, right?
Yep. Yep.
I
Yep.
have to ship it to Kochi. So I'm currently in Kollam, so it's like a
Hmm.
I don't know how much distance it is. Anyway, it's a long route, right? I think probably
Right.
I
Right.
will
Right.
ship it rather than personally go and give it to them.
Amazing. Amazing.
But
Yeah.
this is a thing, right? See, this has been running for 24/7, right? So this is what it takes
Yeah.
to kill it, I think. And there
I
are
see.
Kingston modules which are running for like I don't know from the start, and
Oh,
they haven't
that is
even
too old.
failed like one time. They have
Wow.
even fallen down from my hand on the floor while keeping it on the side, and it's like they have been abused to a point where I don't know why even they have it. And this thing I bought it the latest one. This is the latest Chica info. Latest one. And
Exactly.
how it died is it has a stuck bit, right? In a one,
Wow.
in a particular byte, one particular bit is stuck. So whatever I store it in, it just flips it, right? Because that particular bit is stuck
Interesting.
there.
Interesting. I
Aiming
mean,
Threadripper
like
when
thinking
see
about that,
Rushik,
right?
there's a problem.
Yeah.
Threadripper, I think it's probably gonna die. The AMD hasn't actually released any new Threadrippers after, and
Yeah.
they are stuck at
That's correct.
Zen 2. I'm talking second generation Zen. We are talking fourth generation of Zen coming out.
Hmm.
I don't know when. They have already announced all the specs and everything, right? Whatever they will throw out. And two times the core, right? 32 is the maximum, I think. On
Hmm.
client CPUs. We are talking client CPUs having 32 cores with Ryzen 9.
Right.
32 cores, 64 threads.
Right.
I will literally open, Task Manager OS top, and I will be like, having a cooling glass. See the course? Yep,
Yep. So those pixelated glasses, right? I mean,
yep, exactly.
da 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 da.
Excellent. Yep.
But you'll get those dirt cheap then. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, you
that is
wish.
correct. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I generally it doesn't go that cheap, right? It does get cheap,
Right.
but not that cheap.
Probably going to make a call to Misasu and like, you know what? I want a Threadripper, right? And like, not a Threadripper,
Yep. Yep.
sorry,
Yep.
Ryzen 9, right? Can you send me a Ryzen 9, right? And she'll be like, okay, who is this? And okay, you are fine.
I mean, no, no, no. She will say, "What is your employee ID?" Okay, noted. And then she'll just cut the call. Half an hour
Then
later,
HR
you'll
team
get a
will call,
mail.
call me and it's like, okay, you don't exist in the system anymore, right?
I mean, first of all, after putting the call, right, you won't be able to call anyone because you don't have access to the Teams. You don't have access to the mail. You'll get a call on your phone saying that we are telling you the address. Please return your laptop to this address.
They'll be like, okay, there is an instant meeting now. Come to this meeting.
Yeah,
And then after the meeting, they'll be like, you know what? Keep your laptop here. You can go out.
yeah, I see. He's saying that if 2 3 gen they're not making new thread rippers, then no one will buy the old ones. Uh, Correct. But see, the thing
Yeah,
is that
see,
then it will get sold out, right? It's not the thing.
Threadrippers are Ryzen 9s, I think.
Yeah.
Ryzen 9s having
Uh,
32 cores. I mean, what could you more ask? 32 cores.
Absolutely.
Like, what is the maximum you have in a Threadripper? 32 cores. That's it.
Correct. Correct.
Then why do you need a Threadripper, right? Actually, Threadripper Pros, if I remember correctly, Threadripper Pros was released after
Okay.
Threadripper's lineup were nearly dead, and those were basically sent
Interesting.
to with some kind of the enterprise stuff, right? Enterprise encryption and enterprise blah blah blah,
Yeah.
all those things added into the core itself, right?
Right. 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 Right.
Arjun's talking NDA. I haven't talked anything which is covering my NDA, man.
I mean, it's
But
already
it is
public,
also
like
covered
these
on the same
informations.
NDA.
Yeah. Okay. So like, if you wish, then we can move to the next
Yeah,
topic.
absolutely. I think viewers are not having any questions. So.
Yeah. Now it's fine. So yeah, with a smiling face, like we'll move to the next topic. So let's see, bro. Like you're seeing this trend, like recently, these companies like OnePlus 10R USC, it's a downgrade to OnePlus 9R. Let's say a Nord C2, right? It's a downgrade to Nord C. Now comes to the iPhone. Uh, okay, Arjun, like, we'll come just right after this, right? What is the best Android OS? So let's come to the iPhone.
Maybe iOS.
So yeah, maybe yeah, it's correct. So see, everyone, like till now, this is what has happened, right? Uh, there was only one iPhone each and every year. Then they started making these, what do we say, the Pro lineup, right?
Yep.
You know, and then I mean, see, till this point, I mean, till the point, I think, in the iPhone 12, right? 12 and 12 Pro had very few differences.
Changes.
Like you won't even, yeah, and the prices were double of the normal ones. It
You can
had the
pretty much
same
say like,
SP, the
12 and 12 Pro
yes,
had same performance, right?
same performance. Absolutely correct.
Performance.
In 13, what has happened? The same formula as 12, 12 and 12 Pro, but it's the 120 hertz display, right?
Correct.
That's not available in the normal variant. That is iPhone 13 and
Still
13.
same performance.
Uh, Still a safe performance, but the 120 hertz made I mean
Made this
a
was a
good
little
amount of
bit
difference.
slower, right? I mean, like, but
Correct,
we are
correct.
talking like, if it was downgraded to 50 hertz, same performance.
Yeah, right. I mean, raw performance was absolutely same. Inside there was the same chip, but now comes to the iPhone 14, right? So first of all, the designs are totally different. Like you in the iPhone 14, normal 14s, you get that big notch, right, for that IR blaster and IR projector they say, and then the IR camera and the normal camera, and then in the iPhone 14 Pro, you get that uh, punch hole design, the newer one, new design. So that's huge difference, but that's not even it. The whole processor, iPhone 14 is having A15, which is there in the iPhone 13 also.
Correct. The older
At
generation.
iPhone 13 Pro Max also. Yeah, the same 1 year old chip. The same chip is going to be there in the iPhone 14. But in the iPhone 14 Pro or and Pro Max, right, you will be having that A16 Bionic. So I mean,
So what
they're
you're
they're
talking
listed two
is,
different chips,
this is
right?
basically an FE release.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, th- now it is like, why even every year iPhone had this one reason to basically tell you that this is a better phone than last year. But now what's the
You know
reason? Like
what?
iPhone 14.
I know what the expansion of FE was. Now I know. Same but expensive.
Okay, absolutely correct. But I mean, this is iPhone 14. It's the same phone, but with $200 hike price. There you go. If you want to buy it, buy it. Don't buy it. It's your choice. Oh man.
Better
So
performance in new
people are saying
iPads or
that.
iPhones are useless. They don't allow.
I mean, this is exactly what we have told every time, right? iOS is secure than Android, but at what cost? You're not able to do anything. It's
If you are
like
not able to
you
do
want.
anything, then you are secure.
I mean,
You're not able to
if you're
do
not
anything,
able,
right?
see, it's like let's say I'm your father, right? Let's say I'm your father. And if I not let you drive a car,
Exactly.
you are absolutely safe. You won't get any accidents. You
You
are
are like,
100%
exactly
safe.
safe from accidents as long as I am prevented from driving a car and going out. Two things.
100%. Absolutely correct. I hurry. Hurry is safe.
Hey
So
man.
other than that, Arjun is saying that iPhone is a part of an American grocery, so it doesn't matter for them. Sales will happen, and I 100% agree. So this is what happens, right? You will see the back of the iPhone 14. It will be different than iPhone 13. So whenever you hold a phone, right, just to call someone, or let's say you're holding it something like this and chatting, the other people will know that it's iPhone 14. Yeah, exactly that. So back will be absolutely different than iPhone 13. I'm 100% sure.
Next
See,
time, people will
yeah,
be holding with chopsticks.
correct. Oh man. So this is what has happened, right? There was a little pill in the iPhone 10 in the name of camera. Then came the boxy design. Then in iPhone 12, so sorry, in the iPhone 13, the cameras were not vertical. They were like
Arjun is right.
cross. Don't miss the mirror selfies. Oh man, shit. Absolutely correct.
You know what? I shot this as an iPhone. Right?
Oh man.
And which iPhone? iPhone 14.
iPhone 14. It is. There you go,
Yeah, but
boys.
but now I think, yeah, I mean, the SOC difference, right? They'll be shaming that person because you have the old SOC too.
Yep. Oh man.
I think that
Okay.
particular phone was just made so that the person who owns it can be shamed by others.
100%. 110%.
You broke a what, right?
Yeah. You buddy. Why you are using iPhone 13? It's what 14 is already out there. Why you don't have it? Are you
No,
broke?
no,
You
no,
don't
not
do
just
you need
that.
any
See,
loan?
like, you're having 14. Why you bought 14?
Yeah.
You should
Oh
buy
man.
14 Pro.
Why Pro? I mean, just go for Pro Max, right?
Absolutely.
It is
I
bigger.
saw my
It is
friend from
better.
iCloud was setting him S Club server. Good on you, man.
Oh man.
Probably this is like Apple ecosystem. It's like a giant magnet, and that thing
Yep.
increases its power each year. And
Correct.
I'm pretty sure your friend will stick to the magnet after some time. You just prevented it from
100%.
some X amount of time.
Yeah. He's correct, Kushik. Like it is very hard to avoid the Apple ecosystem when you have a device in your hand, right? So, I mean, they will make sure they will do anything to turn that user from Nextcloud to the iCloud. I'm 100% sure. So
And those
that's a
short
sad
on
news.
iPhones, right? Like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
promote
yeah, yeah.
iPhones next level, right? Even Android users, they just plainly shame Android users. So it's like they say like, okay, you're having Android, you should probably just kill yourself, right? Than having that.
Correct.
That is
Absolutely
how
correct.
the what do you call, like, the commercials are, right? Commercials are pretty brutal, right? And they are normally going
Yep.
against Samsung, but I think nowadays they changed that because Google is now also on the spectrum because now they
Yeah,
have two
yeah.
opponents. But I actually think
110%.
SOCs doesn't make a difference because they have cracked what you call, like, the God speed at this point.
Yeah.
Their SOCs
That
are
is
too
so true.
powerful.
Yeah, they're too powerful. I agree. And that's a good thing, right? Now we are seeing the competition, like 8 Gen 1, 8 plus Gen 1. Those things are like super fast. So that is really, I mean, in the speed test, everyone, S22 Ultra beat iPhone 13 Pro Max. So,
Oh,
uh,
13 or
you
14?
know, 30. I mean, 14 is not even released. These are
Yeah, right,
the
right.
confirmed leaks, which we told, right? These are the
Got it,
confirmed
got
leaks,
it.
so it's not like rumors. But yeah, 13 is
Perfect,
13
perfect.
Pro Max is already beaten.
Right.
So
But the thing is
that
still
is really good.
14 Pro Max will come out and will be setting another
Yeah,
boundary after that. Nowadays,
yeah,
I don't even
and
care about SoCs because the SoC you can even say like your average phone in your pocket, right? It's most probably even
yeah,
powerful than your laptop at this point.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. Like this on. I mean, on that, on that base only these decks and ready for softwares are developed, right? Motorola and Samsung.
See,
They're really
it's
good.
like two things, right? They want to develop, they also don't want to.
100% correct.
They do it and they make it shitty somewhere, so that you can't just
Something
be
like,
okay with it.
yes, something like iPad OS, right? It's a multitasking OS, but it's not a multitasking OS. Something like that.
Even Dex, right? See, Dex can run
Even the
multiple
decks,
apps
yeah.
and all those things, but it's not that seamless. You don't have the drag and drop facility, and so many things are missing from
Yes,
Dex. And why are they
correct.
missing? Not, it's like not hard to implement. It's like
It's not
it's
hard.
just
For
deliberate
Samsung, it is
because
absolutely not hard. It is
it's
deliberate.
just deliberate.
Yep, yep, yep.
And there are so many glitches here and there, right? The apps, if you want to go to Dex
Yeah,
mode, you have to close all the apps. Not acceptable, right? You have to have a seamless
correct.
transition. These kind of things are easy to do. I mean, it's like even they might have already done it, but they don't want to kill
Hmm.
the laptop business. They don't want to kill the desktop OS market.
Yes,
That's the reason why, right?
absolutely correct.
And also, why not just
Yeah,
adopt Linux-based OS and just change it to their own OS? I mean, pretty much anyone can do it. And whatever runs
correct.
APKs are also open for Google's APIs. So even Linux can run
Yes,
actually APKs in theory. But why are
right.
people not working on it? I think these are all deliberate, just so that they can keep the market, the phone market separate, that thing, right? And
Agree,
nowadays,
agree.
people are coming with UPI and all those things. You can't live without a phone. Even for payment, you have to have.
Even if you want it. I mean, correct. And one of the US Kunal is saying that iPhone cult is cringe, right? So I agree with that. I mean,
iPhone
90% of the users just want
iPhone users are
status, right?
fanboys, like, for most of the time. Most of the time, they are fanboys.
And I would say in India, uh, less of them are fanboys, and most of them are the people who just want to show the status, right? That I have bought an iPhone, I have achieved something. So this is their
Yeah, see,
trademark
the
of achieving
definition of
something, right?
fanboy is some person who doesn't care about the flaws, just advertises the thing,
Yes,
right?
correct.
So that is a fanboy, and these people who just want the status just becomes a fanboy because
Yeah,
they don't care what it delivers. They just care fully about what it makes them look like, right? That is
right, right.
probably see, like I was talking with Arjun last day, and Arjun was talking about Blackberries, right? Old days we had Blackberries,
Yeah, yeah.
and they had more reputation than Apple, right? Those days.
I agree. I agree. Yes, I think
Those
2001 to 2010, 14. I think till that time they were the
a
dominant
person
ones, right?
as businessman by seeing that person as a BlackBerry.
Yes, Godly, correct.
Right. I had a copy of that BlackBerry. Actually, people were all having BlackBerry back then. Some of my dad's friends did have BlackBerry. I have used it. I think it felt like a smartphone OS. Because it had
I mean,
apps
it
and
had
all
that
those things.
it had that trackpad, right? That was really good to
Right.
navigate the thing. Also, the apps you were saying, right? Absolutely correct. The browser was really good. I mean,
I think the
considering
WhatsApp
that time.
first came to BlackBerry only. WhatsApp to
Oh,
replace
I didn't
iMessage.
know that.
Because I
I
remember
actually didn't
those
know that.
days, right? WhatsApp was starting.
Okay, okay.
And BlackBerry, even Android got the WhatsApp, but Android was not popular yet. BlackBerry was
I
still under
see. I
market.
see.
Android
Okay.
only took off around 4.0, where the Jelly Bean was released. And around
Agreed,
4.4, the
agreed,
Kit
agreed.
Kat, it was like, next level at that point.
Yes, I mean, from the gingerbread, right? I think 3 point something. It started like the exponential curve, right? It started taking off at the gingerbread, and
By the way,
the
gingerbread
Kit
is
Kat
2 point
was
something.
like
2.
okay, okay, 2 point. Okay, okay. Then I think honey something. Yeah, but yeah, around that time it started taking off, and then jelly bean was the time it took off, right?
I was counting the letters, right, because they go at 50.
Okay, okay. I mean, you remember like after I think Nutella, right? Number
What
nine.
if what if the first version of Android was Android Apple?
Oh shit. I mean,
Like A for
we
Apple,
all
right?
know that
So
it was. I mean, it was. We all know that it was alpha, right? But just for just for the joke sake, let's imagine if it was if Apple. But even, is it correct that the first and second versions were alpha and beta? They
correct.
were
Yeah,
not
it
released
was.
in the third version. That is,
Yeah, yeah. It was
you know,
not never released actually. And the thing is, like, the first Android, right? It was pretty
yeah.
limitless. Right? Old days you don't have to
Okay.
root the phone to do most of the stuff, and the root came pre-done with the phone, right? Pre-delivered with the phone. You didn't have to do anything. You just had to
Wow.
just install an FU binary, and that just required you to copy the FU binary from whatever place to there. And once you do that, you can have full root access. And for that, I think they use some kind of exploit, and that exploit was deliberate.
Okay. Okay.
That developer, for the developers,
All
that
right. All
exploit was
right.
there, right? And that was
It was
okay
planted.
because,
Yeah.
yeah, it was okay because they thought if the person has access to install, then that person should
Hmm.
be a trusted user. Only if installed, they can
Yes.
do this exploit. And that was used by King
Agree.
Root and all those applications back then. Then
Yeah.
it turns out, Google bought Android, they locked out stuff, right? Then they
I see.
removed this
I see.
exploit. Then people started using, I think, the real exploits to escalate the privilege.
Okay.
And after some time, I
Understood.
think the those things also stopped working because there were no exploits
Yeah. Yeah.
inside.
Then the king root was dead, right? After I think not KitKat, it was dead. From
Near
Android
KitKat, I think
5,
it was
it
like
was dead.
nearly dying.
Yes, 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 I agree.
Routing was easier in those early days. Yeah, correct. I
Yeah, I
mean, if
mean, routing
if we
wasn't.
get root access that with this time,
Yes,
then the
yeah,
system won't boot anymore because bootloader will check itself if the system is corrupt before booting, right? So
right.
yeah, King Root
That
died
after
after
Android
5 developers.
5, 100%. So
Those were good
that
days
is
of
really
Android,
interesting.
right? Those were days
I
where
mean,
I really believed in Android. I thought we are
yeah,
building something which is phenomenal. And
I mean,
as it reached, I think even Oreo, I was okay with it. But, then it reached to what point? Like, the point where they started not naming them. I felt like they
now
lost the
now they are.
passion and everything.
I mean, now they are naming it. Just seeing right from Android
Okay.
12, they have started. They have started naming. So Android 12 is Tirushima. That's
Oh,
a dessert with a coffee flavor, right? That's a dessert. Like we don't have it here, just like marshmallow, but yeah. Tirushima is the name of Android 12. So it is back, I would say, but for I think 9, 10, and 11, it was gone.
right, right, right. At those days, that employee who was naming it was actually.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah,
All
anyway,
right.
I think the whole thing about Android is gone, right? Just became iOS at this
Yes.
point. The
And
whole
Arjun was asking that which Android OS is the best, right? So
correct, correct.
considering he's saying that which OEM Android OS is the best, I mean, I would say the first number is right now. Uh, obviously one UI, right? And then comes the Motorola's My UX. I mean, that is absolutely stock Android with some of the Moto features like chop chop and uh, you know those absolutely small features, but absolute the experience is stock Android. So there you go. But otherwise, if Oxygen OS was alive, I would have kept it at the first number. But yeah, it's not
Yeah.
alive.
Then I think the color OS will come next. I think it's okay,
Uh, I mean,
but
don't put. I would put. I would then still put Oxygen OS in front of ColorOS.
I
It's just a
meant I
scheme,
meant
but it makes
we are saying like Oxygen OS doesn't exist. Both color OS and
the
Oxygen is
unified
merged, right?
OS.
So
Correct, correct. Then
color OS,
absolutely.
the
But
third
Abhiram,
version.
then I would pick the Pixel experience, not the custom ROM, but the Pixel devices, right? Those have whatever OS they have.
I
I would
think
pick
we can put
that.
it at first because
Okay.
those might be the best experience Android might have to offer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Might be,
Agreed.
right? I
Agreed.
mean,
100% agreed.
while Samsung is pushing the best features for the
Yeah.
price.
Correct.
By the
Correct.
way,
Correct.
your camera just went
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah. Now it should be back in a
yep.
moment.
Pretty sure that Arjun was just watching the stream so that he can just get this answer. As soon as we
100%.
answer it, we will be
Now,
like, pretty much gone.
right, right, right.
My
I
UX
agree.
is not optimized. Then optimize it, man. Like, just send an email to developers. You know what? I would like a change to this OS, right? And then you can submit
Dear
your
Motorola.
resume it, and then get into the company, fix it up, then quit. And they'll be like,
Correct. Correct.
oh yeah, this guy went to the extremes to fix the whole thing.
Oh man. Or maybe make a beautiful video stating, "Dear my UX, dear Motorola." Then
Like MKB, right?
like MKB. Yep, yep, yep. I mean that trend is being followed by a lot of YouTubers. Even Nikki
Correct.
Ranjit
Even
and
Mr. Who's
Q2D
boss
and all
is
those.
trying.
Mr. Who's Boss also has done Dear
Linus Tech
Samsung, right?
Tips.
That video. Even
Linus
the
Tech
Linus
Tips.
Tech. Correct. 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 100%.
I haven't seen Jerry Rig everything do, but he do say in the videos itself, right? He'll be say, okay, like
Yup. Yup. Yup.
if
Yup.
Samsung did this, it should have been way better, right?
Yes.
He do
I
have
remember.
a session where he also talks about the
Okay.
companies, right? What his requests are and all those things.
I see. I see.
But nowadays, I don't see his videos much because the YouTube algorithm things have changed. Plain
Correct.
Google,
Correct.
if I'm not watching generally everything that much. It's
Correct.
like
Correct.
you watch something which Google thinks you should watch rather than what you think you should watch.
Yeah.
Even if you're subscribed, you're just telling the algorithm that okay, you want this, but you know what, you decide.
Interesting.
And you don't even
So,
notice because after some time you'll be like, hey, that
hmm.
channel, the old channel which I was like really interested in, not the feeds anymore. Right? You get that feeling, right?
Yeah, yeah. I've
Then
got
you
that feeling
check
a
the
lot. Like,
channel, and you will see that they have pushed a lot of videos. Just that YouTube has
100%.
recommended.
Yup. 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 Yeah. The algorithm has gotten bad, I would say, nowadays.
Right, right.
100% agreed.
Even people are ending with praise the algorithm, praise likes, praise
Yup.
put
Yup.
comments, increase activity. Right.
Correct.
So
All
I
right.
think there is no more
So,
things in the agenda, right?
yeah, then we can go to the next topic, I would say.
Absolutely.
All right. So, we all have seen that movie, right? What was that movie? Kingston? Yeah, Kingsman, right? Kingsman.
Kingsman, yeah.
In that movie, you remember that SIM card company gives people,
Yep,
that
yep,
those
yep.
weird SIM
Valentine,
cards, and
right?
yes,
Valentine,
and
right?
through that, yes, through that, the
They install an
you know
app
the
to manage a SIM card, called Valentine app, right?
Correct.
And that app
Correct.
has a what you call like a payload, right? And that payload
Right.
activates when that person, uh, puts his fingerprint and everything, right?
Correct. Correct.
And that
100.
payload is basically a music which will make people kill each other, right?
Yep. Yep. Exactly that. So, and that was like a lot of people, right? So you all would have thought that how can this happen in the real world, right? It's like impossible, right? So I mean, it is impossible. Nothing is going on the physical end, but on the software end, even on the hardware end, a lot of things are happening. So whenever any of my relatives ask me that, this phone is under 10,000, can I buy this phone? And he will tell me that he or she will tell me that this gives this feature in this much of lower price, but the other phone which is not giving this many good features is priced like 1.5 times of the 10,000 price. So
What you're talking is
why?
the specs outweigh the specs of the some expensive phone.
Correct. Correct. The cheaper phone is giving you better specs, and the people just want to buy that phone. So I tell those relatives that you know this chip, right, this particular chip, Unisoc Tiger, I would say that chip, Unisoc chip, yeah, Unisoc chip, that is fairly new in the market. We don't know what is the track record of it. So I would, I mean, just go for a MediaTek, right? I'm not telling you to go for any Snapdragon phone, but at least go for a MediaTek phone, just
Correct.
because the software, we can say, can be taken care of.
Just saying,
But
MediaTek was in the market way before Qualcomm was ever in the.
agreed. Yeah, I mean, they were the OGs of SoCs, right? The routers and the printers and all of those, uh, you know I would say IoT
Even
devices.
your paper shredder might have their association.
Yeah, MediaTek, correct. So yeah, see these companies, MediaTek and Qualcomm, they are really good at what they are making, right? In terms of hardware. So I always tell my relatives that of course I don't tell them, but in my mind I always play these things that if a problem is on the hardware level, it is pretty hard to fix if compared to the problem on the software level. So this is something exactly what has happened with the Unisoc chips. So with this Unisoc chips, with the 4G and 5G model, there is a problem. There is an exploit. I mean, I think zero interact exploit, I would say, which in theory uh, can run scripts on your phone, can do DDoS attacks through your phone, on your phone and through your phone. So I mean, basically, through a modem, you can get hit. And now the thing is that Unisoc chip is the fourth most
Popular.
market shareholder, popular. More than 10% of the market share is with them. And considering the billions numbers currently, the time when I'm speaking,
We
millions
are
of
talking
users
around
are at
40%
the risk.
share if we are talking all the devices. We are not just talking
Yes.
smartphones. Like, this is a SoC after all.
Yeah.
This will be put in TVs, routers and all those things.
Yes. Lot of things. So wherever this modem is there, these people are at the risk of you know getting a malicious script ran by someone. Even if you just don't interact, just put the phone there, you just don't interact with that thing can run in your phone.
So what this kind of
So
vulnerability is like, it is a vulnerability in the firmware of the
I see.
chip basically. So this firm, like,
I
why
see.
it's called a firmware? Firmware is a
Okay.
software, a piece of software which is supposed to be firm. That is, it is not,
Okay.
expected to change anytime.
Yeah.
So normally
Yeah.
these are burnt to a ROM, but nowadays with
Okay.
people understanding that these firmwares can also have some vulnerabilities, they are writing it to EEPROM. so that in the future they can, in theory, replace it through some software update.
Hmm.
But the problem with the whole
Understood.
Android ecosystem is like, you know, like let's talk
Hmm.
Windows first. Microsoft
Hmm.
wants to put a patch. They put a OTA, every device gets updated. Boom.
Right.
That is it. But for Android, Google puts up an update. No one even minds about it. And then after some time, devices get
Oh,
hacked. And then manufacturers
correct.
are like, oh shit, we should probably release a security patch for it. And they will like release a security
Yes.
patch. And then you will have to install it. And that requires your attention. You will not most probably suspend it for like 1 month, 2 months, install.
Got it.
And after
Got it.
some time you will install it. And this whole thing can literally take just even 1 year to happen. The whole thing. That is getting delivered to your
Yes.
phone and getting installed in your phone. And
Hmm.
then
Hmm.
what happens is, see, the Android has to patch the firmware. And these
Okay.
firmware updates
Okay.
are not really easy to do. Because while doing the firmware update, if any kind of crash occurs, you are
Hmm.
completely bricked. Like, I'm
Oh,
I'm talking like, capital letters bricked. You can't rescue that modem without having some debug tools, you know,
yes. Yes.
directly
Very
probing in the modem. And this is a problem. It's a big problem. And
That's a
because of
huge problem.
this, haven't updated any kind of fixes as of now,
Hmm.
but they have fixed it in the tree. That's just there.
Okay. Okay.
So the problem
Got it.
is like, see, like a packet can have a particular length. There
Hmm.
can be n number of people multiplexed to us, and these all
Got it.
are normally like, there is upper limit for, and it should be
Yeah.
hardcode.
Yeah.
But what
Hmm.
happens is these people haven't hardcoded that upper limit. The upper limit was never defined. So if someone pushes
Got it.
something without, even talking about the upper limit, that is, okay,
Yeah.
let's say 16 kilobytes I allocate, and I don't
Hmm.
check if I am reading 16 kilobytes. I'm reading whatever they are giving and putting it to
Hmm.
16 kilobytes. Then obviously the person, if it gives, 20 kilobytes, is going to overwrite whatever is in front of the buffer. And this is
Okay.
exactly what is
Okay.
happening inside the modem. So you are having a buffer overflow attack. And with the buffer overflow,
I see.
what the person can do is they can replace the data, and they can even overwrite the
Hmm.
data session. I mean, not data session, the code session. That is, they can overwrite the code. And once they
Okay.
overwrite the code, they can even plan it in such a way that the return address points to that particular place they have placed the code. This is called a ROP, right? Return oriented programming attack. Right? And once you do
Okay.
this particular attack, the modem is practically pawned, and you can literally do whatever
Got
you
it.
want. You have got instruction execution. Instructions which are not supposed to be executed are now being executed, and this is a remote code
Got it.
execution vulnerability. And this is something which normally the security people will put it at highest scale, that is highest scale of criticality being 10. This will be on the 10th level. And one
Absolutely
happy
correct.
news is like, some person to hack this should have access to the cell towers directly. But what if the cell towers are hacked,
Oh man. Exactly.
right?
That is where the problem lies.
I mean, every hacking movies have one cell tower hacked at least.
Yep. 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 Yep.
I think see, like, it's not a a fiction actually. I think it is
Yeah.
possible.
It
The
is.
cell towers can be
It
easily
is.
hacked,
It is possible.
and
100%
major
possible.
problem is the employees who are vulnerable to social engineering. Right? They give out
Yeah.
keys. The only thing is you
They,
need
they,
to
they
get some
do so.
information about that person.
Correct. Correct.
You get some information about that person, then they can convince, like, you can convince them that they, like, you are a particular friend, or
Yeah.
friend's family member or someone who needs access to the data right now because the friend is in some critical position.
Correct.
and
Correct.
needs access, and you'll be like, oh shit, okay, here are the keys. Do whatever you have to get rid of this mess,
Yep.
right? And boom, you will get the keys. And this is very effective actually. I think this is how hackers get
That
access to
is
most of the data, right?
absolutely correct. Yeah, this is what the most major part, I would say.
So yeah, I mean, if you have this particular SoC, then shame on you. Don't buy these phones. Buy a reputed phone. And second, if you have a SoC, you trust it 100%, then you are again a fool. Don't trust it. Always keep a guard up. Right?
100% correct. The best security is
Common
you, right?
sense.
This common sense. Correct.
If you don't trust a network, don't connect to it. If you see a prompt which looks off, don't accept it. Right? It's like
Correct. Correct.
it's like the common sense is the first level of defense to any kind of uh, device you have. And
Yes.
now hackers are getting better and better, right? I mean, people are hiring people who are really good at what they do, right?
Yes.
People who are really good
So true.
developers are being hired just to clone websites.
Oh
At
man.
that point, you can't even distinguish between facebook.com and face-book.com because they look entirely
Exactly.
the same.
Exactly. 100% same.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if you ever have a device, you should probably just, do a background check now and then,
Hmm. Hmm.
just to know if the device is hacked or not, right? And see, in this perfect
Yeah.
world, so not perfect world, imperfect world, it's very hard to
Yeah.
keep track of all the vulnerabilities and all those things. So, if you're a target, it's hard, right? It's very probable that you'll be hacked if you have some technology lying around. Like, it's
Correct.
hard to keep everything
Correct.
updated. Even having an updated Linux distro running in your laptop will
Yeah.
not keep you away from these architectural vulnerabilities, these modern vulnerabilities, these all these firmware and all those next level vulnerabilities we have. And this is a scary situation we are in. And see, the problem is there are known vulnerabilities which are not even disclosed because they are
Hmm.
classified, and that is
Right.
in the name of national security, right? And like I understand the point of having in the national security. They want to have sort of backdoor, right? These are not backdoors, they are pretty much exploits,
Hmm.
but
Correct.
still
Correct.
they are known exploits. They are deliberately not saying to the user. So whoever is in possession of that exploit, that is not just the government, might be some bad entity also might have figured out the same path, might be
Absolutely
exploiting
right.
so many people, right, with that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you might be one among them. No one will ever know. And one thing I, I
100%
can
correct.
say for sure, right? Microsoft and Apple are most probably not even planting their backdoors. These backdoors are literally, being found and never discussed. There
Never
are
disclosed to anyone.
people. See, if you have good brain, government will
Yeah.
literally contact you and recruit you into
Correct.
security agencies. In USA it's like
Yes.
NSA, right, and FBI. Here, I have no idea what they have. There is Indian
I mean,
intelligence for
Raw is
cybercrime,
there.
right? Yeah, RAW is there.
Correct.
Then there is like Intel intelligence for cybercrime, that is known as cyber police,
Yeah.
right?
There is a particular name of it. Starts with T. T for what do we say? Tiger. Starts with T, but I forgot the actual name.
Right.
It is there. The entity is there.
Yeah, there are a lot of them actually. India is very secretive about what they do have now. You know, that is a crazy thing also, right? Even in movies, the producer has no idea what India has, so they just put some,
Yep.
you know, Windows Media Player and all those things,
Oh,
right?
I mean, I've seen a lot of movies. They just run stop and just show that something is
We are
being
hacked.
hacked.
We are hacked. You know what
Yes,
this
yes,
means?
yes.
We are hacked.
Yeah,
And then there will
100%.
be a progress bar saying, shit, 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 shit,
I
they are
mean,
attacking the firewall. Now it's a race.
I mean,
Either they hack us or we hack them.
it's something like Nova launcher, right? I would go to any service center and tell, I just installed this launcher named as Nova launcher, and the phone is still like not running on, right? In reality, I would have done lots of things like flashing a firmware of different phone and literally removing the
You
bootloader and
could
doing
have
things.
literally blown the whole SOC apart by flashing an overclock kernel, right?
Yeah. Then we'll just say, just Nova launcher. I don't know what happened. Can you please fix it for me? Yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, these
interesting.
intelligence agencies, they will recruit you if someone sees like you are good enough, right?
I
Then
see.
they will recruit you, and because of this they have the most intelligent people, right? Who know about technology,
Hmm.
and because of this
Got it.
the vulnerabilities, they find vulnerabilities very fast, and they just keep it secret
Understood.
until some kind of a leak happens, like the NSA leak called Eternal Blue,
Oh
which
man.
disclosed all those vulnerabilities, which was in Windows, and we had no idea how much how much effective they were. Like literally,
Check.
the what was that WannaCry
Yeah, what
ransomware.
is it?
That
Correct.
is the whole thing which started the ransomware thing. I mean, until then the ransomware was not a thing. And you know how
Yeah,
what it was connected, even made, right? Just made because
yeah.
NSA couldn't keep their data safe, right?
Oh man. Okay.
And see,
Okay.
like there is few points, right, in any kind of
Hmm.
government stuff, right? When you like, have a leak, first of all, it's denial.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
second phase is, slowly acceptance. Right? Third phase
Correct.
is
Correct.
releasing the classified documents, certifying it to the actual entity to fix it, right?
Yes.
And this is what happened with Eternal Blue, because they were in denial once the leaks happened, until the
Hmm.
WannaCry was released, and they saw, okay, this is what their tool can do.
Right.
After that only they started accepting, and once, even
I see.
medical machines, even
Hmm.
even machines which are keeping medical records were getting encrypted. That was the
Yeah.
time when they were like, oh shit, this has to stop now. People are dying
Correct.
because of this, and that is when they
So
released
true.
the whatever details to Microsoft. And this is like this is going to repeat again and again, right? I mean, this is what it is. Like it is
Yes.
how
So
everything
true.
works. Um, like
At least.
India's VPN ban, right? Like pretty ludicrous. Right? Currently, Proton VPN is not even working in India, right?
Oh man.
They just
Is it?
pull their
Oh.
servers, right? They just pull their servers.
Wow. Wow.
They made a statement that on 1st June, if the things doesn't go good, they will stop. And I checked on 1st June, boom, no more disconnecting. It is saying my network is blocking access. I know network is not blocking access. They are blocking access.
Yep.
I mean, by they being Proton VPN itself, because they don't want to keep logs. I do
Yeah.
really stand
And
by them, right?
also, correct. 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 Yeah. Also, they don't want to get sued by the government and don't have to pay billions of dollars, right? So they just
Correct.
left. And you know, I would say a lot of them will just leave, right? The official VPNs which are there, right, in the market, they will leave for
Node
sure.
has already left, if I'm correct.
Oh, yeah.
There
All
is a
right. All right.
major
That's a
VPN provider, right?
that was a huge market, I would say.
Premium VPN
Wow.
market.
Didn't they
Everything is
think
going
of
out.
if the VPN gets banned, people will build custom VPNs in cloud? Uh, okay, so
See,
Rushik, it's like you have to pay, right, for a,
uh,
and
oh, yeah, I mean, see, there is one thing I would have to say. See,
yeah,
building VPN, using VPS, making something up. These all require some sort of skill, and only less people have it. They are
that
not
is
worried
first point.
about that
Correct.
less people at first. They want mass surveillance. So for
Hmm.
mass surveillance, just blocking VPNs works. Because in old days, just installing an app and clicking connect was high tech.
Correct.
Nowadays, it's like basic knowledge. Just install an app and click connect.
Yeah,
But to set up a VPN server, it requires some sort of knowledge. That only
right.
10% of people has. That is fine.
Yeah, people will
Yeah,
make
people
vlogs,
see
right?
people will make blogs, but see, like, do I see a mechanical engineer coming here and just building a VPN server? If an
Oh
engineer
man.
can't do it, right? If an engineer can't do
Yep.
it, like I'm not talking to computer science engineers, right? I mean, they're exception. Also, electronics
Yeah,
engineers,
yeah,
they're exception, right?
yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
if if you can take a sample from an electrical engineer and just
Hmm,
say
hmm, hmm.
this guy can do it, how many guys?
Right.
Out of 10, two maybe, two at max,
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
right? And take computer science engineers. Out of 10, how much? Maybe five. The numbers doesn't look really
Yep.
good. Like, even if we take computer science engineers, because they'll be
Yeah.
like, I only
And
know CSS. I only work on front end. These are back end stuff. I don't care.
and Abhiram, out of those five, right? Only one will be rich enough to afford an VM instance.
Yeah, but still they can do something like groom.io.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right,
now
right.
I think I'm feeling better too.
All right, all right. Correct, correct, correct.
I mean, still, like, there are like a lot of open servers out there which you
If
can,
they want to do, they can do. Absolutely
yeah,
correct.
collab, right? Like,
Yep, yep, yep.
using the person, like, I mean, using the thing which don't want, uh, like, using the Google's own servers against them. Like, Google basically don't want to mess
Right,
with government, but by using Google to restore VPN access, you are messing with Google, right?
correct. Rushik is saying that the price is not a factor because if they can afford a premium VPN, then the the VM will cost almost the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree, but a lot of VPNs are free, right? You know, nine, not 90% of people just use the free VPNs. So uh,
And around
then
60 to
again,
70% of those are pulled already.
correct. So yeah,
Because here
knowledge
is the
and
catch,
money.
right? See, it's not just about Indian people. They have to keep logs about all the people,
Oh man, yeah,
right?
yeah, correct,
So
correct.
so
I agree, I
whoever
agree.
even connects to India servers, they have to keep logs.
Shit,
That is the reason why people are like, the VPN providers are like, you know what, this will happen, right? American people will question us, why you are keeping logs when our country promotes free
correct,
speech, right?
right, right.
And they'll be questioning, like, the entire world except China and North Korea and those kind of places where people are already, like, mind blown,
Yep,
will question, right? Will start question.
100%.
And they don't want that, right? I mean, they would rather just retreat from India than let the whole world question them.
Correct, correct, correct. So true.
Actually, this VPN thing is whole bluff, really. Like, see, even the adult content ban, it was not effective. Still, like, I
Yeah,
think 90% of the content is reach, or I have no idea, right? I talk to my friends and they are like saying, that like does that even exist? No, that is how they are talking. And I'm like,
I see.
oh, I never knew. And
Yeah.
really weird because the main
Hmm.
URLs get blocked. It's not the servers who get. So they
Oh,
just keep
okay.
on changing the URLs, right?
Got it. Got it.
And this is a problem. They can't block unless they have a good blocking authority, like China, for example. Block everything,
Hmm.
just allow something. Best
Yeah.
firewall ever, right? Block everything. So it's like if explicitly not allowed, blocked.
Yes. It is something like those corporate policies, right? If it is not written, it's probably not allowed.
Right, right.
So yeah.
But even corporates do allow random websites.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Correct.
What is of high security? Then corporates they do everything on their power to ensure security.
Hmm.
And if they don't care about
Correct.
that, I don't know when India will be like, what? Let's strip all this. No SSLs.
I mean,
Everyone gets a custom India SSL. You're installed in their laptop to use it.
yes. I don't know. I don't know. If the same government will rule for more 10 years, right? This will escalate more and more. I can
Correct,
feel that
correct, correct.
because it
I
is
think
this
someone
government
has to
which is
come.
doing all of these things.
Yeah, yeah,
This
I think
government has
someone
to
has to
change.
come. This playing field is completely what you call like a now it's coming. It's going from a democracy to more dictatorship because more things are getting passed outright.
Yeah, yeah,
The VPN legislation, I
I
didn't
agree.
even think that people will even accept it. How
I
it
see.
even could pass? Like it didn't even take anything to get it passed. The bill came up and got passed. Boom.
Absolutely.
It's a scary situation, right? It's a scary situation.
Yep, yep, yep.
Probably I should get a voter's ID soon and vote for something else.
Yeah. I mean, I already do have I don't vote for this government from last two elections, last
Right,
one
right,
election
right.
I would say. So, yeah.
I should probably write a botnet and hack all those voting machines. More effective.
I mean, yeah, the smart if the smartphones can be hacked, why these old school hardwares cannot be?
Pretty sure
They
they are
can be
not
hacked.
connected to internet.
Yeah, pretty sure.
I mean, if it's not connected to internet, then what is the threat? That is their point. Maybe we
Correct.
should hire someone like uh, who was that guy Rock, right? Like Rock's real name I forgot. The
Uh, Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, we should probably hire Dwayne Johnson and make another Fast and Furious over here. Literally go
Yep.
to the voting machine, wherever it is kept. Open it. Insert USB drive in every machine. Insert a bug, and then
Right.
do a massive heist.
100% correct.
Uh, for the record, I'm not going to do any of those. I'm just joking, right?
Yeah, that was absolutely easy.
But we have to have Dwayne Johnson. Otherwise,
Yeah.
like he can just punch through walls.
Otherwise, yep, yep, yep.
I mean,
All
here
right.
the buildings are
So I
like
think
very old. He might have to only
Yeah.
just do a flick of the finger. And, like, you do a flick of the finger, the whole infrastructure just
Correct.
stays there, all the back end just destroys. And the wall slowly just falls down. Like in Tom and Jerry and all those things. Right?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, Brit. I guess we both are
So
already tired. It's like 11:20 now.
yeah, I mean, also there is no question, I would say, from users,
Okay.
from viewers, I would say. So uh, here I think good to wrap up this episode. The topics were really good this time. I can see it was really interesting talk, and users also interacted a lot this time, just like last time.
Absolutely.
So thanks a lot. I mean, Rushik is the one who is still there, right? He is the concurrent viewer from the start to the end. So
Yep.
thank you, Rushik. Thanks a lot. We appreciate that a lot.
Now we should
And
name our band something like like BTS's Army, right? Should
yeah, correct, correct.
probably make
I think
something.
Rushik has a different time zone, right? He's in
Yeah,
maybe
he's
in
in USA.
US.
Yep.
All right, all right.
We are at night, so most probably he's daytime.
Got it, got it, got it. Interesting. He's having his really good Sunday, I guess.
Yeah. Is it? We are 5.5 hours. Yeah. Yeah. Correct. They are
Should
behind.
be,
They're
yeah,
behind, right?
it should be a sweet Sunday for him. Yeah,
Yep.
enjoy your Sunday, Rushik. Like, it's ending for us now, but
Afternoon 2 p.m.
it's like only, yeah, afternoon 2 p.m. Really good time to watch some movies. All right, so we'll meet next time, Rushik. And please, for everyone else, like, please do leave a like and share it with your techie friends so that they could also gain a lot of knowledge. And please let us know in the comments where we can approve what you liked. And go
Forums.
to the tuxforums.com. Absolutely. Go to the tuxforums.com if you have, if you're wanting some suggestion or you need a detailed help. There are lots of experts there. Even me and Abhiram are there to help you. So otherwise, we'll come every week at around this time. And goodbye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.